How's it going, guys? It's Mouseball, and this is the AttackMouse Nation, and welcome to the automotive side of my YouTube experience. And I'm here with Turbo Tom this morning, and what we're doing is we're actually going to do the brakes on Minty Green. Minty Green is getting slotted and drilled rotors for cooling, for better braking, and then not to mention that they're going to be much lighter than the stock cast iron rotors. Not by much, but by enough to where it's noticeable. Not to mention that we're also doing H&R lowering springs on Minty to get Minty a little bit lower to the ground. Not necessarily so low to where, you know, Turbo Tom can, you know, have to worry about driving over certain, you know, obstacles where he's going to be scraping everywhere. We're not pulling the Stance Nation on you. We're basically going to do a moderate drop for better handling, you know, better dynamic driving. And obviously, even though Minty is not necessarily going to be a track beast like El Blanco Diablo, well, we want to make sure that Minty is still safe and very fun and entertaining to drive. Now, one of the reasons why we're making this morning vlog is we want to talk to you guys about living small but thinking big. And the thing is, when it comes down to having a car like this, well, this is a very small car, but a guy like Turbo Tom can pretty much afford any car he really wants. I mean, if he really wanted to go to a dealership and, you know, get into a Hellcat, he could. You know, just no different than anybody else could. I mean, all you have to do is accept that you want to be in debt. And that's it. I mean, this is America, and that's what the wonderful thing about America is. There really isn't a opportunity that you can't go after. There isn't anything you can't get, as long as you're willing to go out there and try and get it. But the difference is that what you fill your plate with, are you sure you want to eat that? Because when it comes down to it, if you have too much on your plate, well, now you have more headaches, you have more bills to pay, you have more maintenance costs. And that's one of the things Turbo Tom can definitely tell you about in detail, because not only is he somebody who is a self-motivator, but then at the same time, his channel is basically based on how to cut your expenses, how to bring things down to a level to where not only can you live, you know, a comfortable lifestyle, but then you can actually go for bigger and better things in moderation. Because the thing is that we all try to overstretch ourselves to impress others, and it's really not the way to go. I'm telling you right now, and trying to buy something to impress another person is actually a fool's errand. You know, the whole point of us owning Fiat 500s and having the cars we have is for our own personal enjoyment. Now, yeah, of course we love to show our cars off, we love to go to car meets, because we're car enthusiasts. That's what we want to do. We want to meet with other people who have different makes and models and show our appreciation for their cars as they would show their appreciation for ours. So Turbo Tom is going to tell you a little bit about cutting expenses, you know, how to live in moderation, and how not to like overextend yourself past a point where now you've got higher insurance rates, you've got a car that you can't afford to repair, and you are literally, you know, scraping for food to put in your mouth.
Yeah, that's so true, Jay. The mistake people make is trying to impress people, keeping up with the Joneses. Always fall in love with the deal, never with the car, the house, or whatever. People will do that over and over again, and they create this cycle of debt. So the first thing you got to do is you got to get smart about money. You're never taught that in school. You're never going to be taught that anyway. So there's a lot of people out there. You can get some great books. Find a mentor, but be consistent about what you do. Be purposeful about what you do, and in the long run, it'll pay off. Remember, it's not a sprint; it's a marathon. When I bought Minty Green about 2 years ago, I got a great deal on it. It was in my benefit. It wasn't the bank's benefit. It wasn't the car dealership's benefit. It was mine. If it wasn't, you walk away. When I got El Blanco Diablo 6 months later, the car was a great car mechanically and everything except for a couple issues, but somebody had hit the car and it wasn't worth fixing for the car owner. He barely drove it. So I got it for a discount. I booked it almost $12,000. I got it for $5,100. So I financed the car.
That's a hell of a deal.
Got 2 percentage points lower 6 months later because I had improved my credit more than I did when I got minty green. And I paid cash for the repairs. People are going to sit there and look at your car and go, whatever. They're not paying your bills, so you don't really give a crap what they think. So don't go out there and try and impress somebody. I could have bought a 2017, 2018 Abarth that had nothing wrong with it. But then again, I'm financing that whole car for no reason.
Exactly. And the thing is that when it comes down to it, if you would have bought a brand new one, it would have been a lot harder to customize, because now everything's brand new. You really don't want to touch it, and you don't want to experiment with the modifications that you could do on the car. Buying El Blanco Diablo was a great idea because, one, it taught you about what the actual values and the marketplace is on actual, bodywork and how much it costs to fix things. It actually got you talking to me and getting my advice on whether the bodywork should be done, with the Bondo or whatever, or they should do a reskin, which, if I remember correctly, they reskinned the panel and they did the, minimum bodywork, which was a smart thing to do. And it cost you less by pretty much buying the actual body panel and reskinning it back on the car. And they did a fantastic job. El Blanco Diablo looks like he's never been hit. So, in actuality, buying the Abarth at $5,100 was the best way to go about things, because we are literally building a track monster because of it. And Turbo Tom is definitely right about finding a mentor. And there's plenty of mentors out there. I mean, Earl Nightingale, Napoleon Hill. Who else is a really great mentor that you can go to? That's actually, there's Jordan Peterson,
Robert Kiyosaki, Jim Rohn,
Donald Trump. Believe it or not, Donald Trump. I mean, the thing is that you got to find people that are positive, that are going to give you the correct message. And the thing is that life already has enough bad stuff and enough ugliness as it is already. And you're going to have to deal with a lot of ugly people. There's no doubt about it. But the thing is that, what your mind can conceive and believe, it will achieve, as Napoleon Hill has said. And it actually does work. I mean, my girlfriend is a huge student of Napoleon Hill and Ayn Rand and many others. And the thing is, a lot of you people on, the other spectrum might say, oh, well, those are greedy people. Well, nothing operates off of, altruism like you think it does. Everybody is greedy to a certain extent. The thing is that are your interests, which are for yourself, going to help others? And that's really what it boils down to, because let's just say the most greedy person in the world is the person that doesn't want to work. Because think about it. I mean, think about it in this particular way. If I'm out here working, if Jim's out here working, and somebody's sitting down collecting a paycheck, well, who's more greedy? The person that's out there actually working hard, trying to provide something for society, or the person that's actually collecting all of the fruits of society off of the back of other people? I would call that indentured servitude. So, as far as I'm concerned, the people who are venture capitalists, the people that are out there, getting money and getting things done, are the people who are bringing society up to the highest level. And they shouldn't be looked at as the greediest people on the planet. The greediest people on the planet are the people who are literally taking from others to maintain their lifestyles. That, to me, is what true greed is. It's getting something for nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And here's something to dwell on. It's what you do with the money that you make. There's plenty of people through no fault of their own that are always going to need our help. And the more money you can make, honestly, not taking advantage of people, the better prepared you are to take care of not only yourself and your family, but being able to write a check for somebody. There's a whole lot of people suffering right now with this COVID thing that's going on. There's a lot of stuff going on with that thing that people don't write that check for people, that's something that you can do that untold benefits, not only for them, but for you. So always keep that in mind. It's not about greed, it's not about anything else, but you always should have an obligation to earn as much money as you can and have a good lifestyle and help those that are in need. I mean, that's what it's all about.
The greatest amount of charity happened when capitalism was at its highest point. And the thing is that nobody who actually produces monumental amounts of money is going to just sit on it like Scrooge McDuck and jump into an ocean of money like everybody thinks is going to happen. No, money has to circulate, like Jim has said many times. If the money isn't circulating and it's stagnating, well, it's collecting dust, no different than any other object. So believe it or not, people who actually get out there and get money are actually more generous. And there wouldn't be need for a welfare state because you would have people who are capitalists out there making money and actually giving it away. And most people who are actually into capitalism, they end up saving more money by actually giving it to people who need it, believe it or not, because they can write it off as a tax write-off, if I'm correct.
Yes, and you should always consult a tax professional, but that's the beauty of our tax code, is the people that are at the top actually pay a lot of taxes. People that will try and have class warfare and things like that will sit there and tell you they don't pay their fair share. They pay a lot of taxes. They really, really do. And they pay a lot of it through charity. There's a lot of things that happen in life that happen in the world because people give away a lot of their money.
Exactly. And I mean, there's, for instance, I had my appendicitis taken care of literally free of charge because of a charity. When I was a lot younger, obviously. And because it was an open wound kind of policy, I was able to get the bills paid for by a charity because of that. So it was because of people actually going out there, and making money and taking that extra money that they make and literally putting it back out there for the world to use, like such as myself, which I probably wouldn't be here if I would have gone septic and my appendicitis would have killed me off. So it's because of charities like that I owe the world to, that have literally put me in a position to be here right now talking to you. So the thing is that I think we've been kind of taught a lot of things wrong. Like, for instance, my diabetes, which has literally almost taken my sight and my life, well, following the actual guidelines from the Heart Association, that is what actually got me fat and got me in trouble. So there's a lot of things that are untrue and that really need to be evaluated and looked at a lot deeper before you go and you say, hey, you know what, this is the rules of the road, because usually they aren't. And this is why Turbo Tom's channel is extremely important, because not only will you learn the keys to success, but you can incrementally add these things into your life and improve your life. And it all starts with positive thinking.
Exactly. First step.
So guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay wealthy, and remember, you want to live small so that way you can think big. Take it easy, guys. Mouse ball out.